I'm Daniel Walker. I'm the new Managing Director of Tomoka Fine and Rare. My decision to join Tomoka Fine and Rare was a pretty easy one, but my background was in luxury assets. I've started companies, established them. I've got them to a level where I feel that they're successful, and once I felt that my work there was done, I wanted to move on, challenge myself again, and that's what Tomoka proposed to me. I'd like to think as the new Managing Director that there's going to be a sense of professionalism that I bring to the table, certainly, but also a bit of experience that I've managed to attain over the past 10 years. And if I can bring something new to the table that's going to benefit the company, but more importantly, the clients that we have, then that's what's getting me out of bed in the morning. Some of the key attributes I'd like to think that I've picked up in my past 10, 15 years of working in the financial sector in the city is trust. Working with people where you can genuinely look them in the eye, sit down and talk to them. It's about knowing the person you're working with. I come from quite humble beginnings, and I was always told that when you give somebody your word, you make sure it's worth it, otherwise your word becomes worthless. That's something that I hold dear to my heart. I'm not sure if we've lost a little bit of that over the course of recent history, but it's certainly something that was embedded in me from my family. So when I am speaking to new people where the whiskey market is something that they've never even thought about before, it's really, really important to me as a person that I sit down with them, look them in their eye and help them. I want to assure people that I appreciate how they feel. I understand why they feel that way, but most crucially, helping them see the market for what it is, which is essentially low risk. It's shown profit for a long, long time. And most crucially of all, working with the right people. And hopefully at this company, Tomoka, that's what we've proven year after year for the past decade. That's what we're hopefully showcasing. It may not be a surprise to learn that in times of intense fragility, smart, astute investors are looking for welcome stability, and that's exactly what the whiskey market offers. You have to bear in mind, at the moment, the stock market ostensibly looks as if it's doing incredibly well, and it's right at the very peak of its powers, supposedly. But then when you take a peek behind the curtain, as smart investors will, you'll see that actually there's an incredible amount of debt due to quantitative easing, artificial stimulus in essence. So it's a bubble that essentially will go back. And what whiskey does, it offers a real nice safety blanket in terms of risk, because it's not predicated on the same economic factors. It's really down to the most simple of economic factors, which is supply and demand. For new people that are coming into the market, it offers a real nice, safe, secure way of making good profit on a yearly basis. Number one, it's a physical asset. So in times of incredible turbulence, which is what we all seem to be experiencing right now, especially if you look at what's going on in the banking sector, look at the stock market, it's really important that we have something which is going to effectively create a ring fence around our potentially more risky areas of our portfolios. Whiskey does that, but also you have to take into account that it's got fantastic attributes, like the fact that it's capital gains tax exempt. The government deem it a wasting asset, so there's certainly an attractive element there. But for me, it's that low correlation to stocks that it has. If there are things that can happen to your finances ultimately outside your realm of control, whether that be a politician saying something that they shouldn't, or if a war breaks out, or even if somebody, a high, powerful CEO writes a tweet that could have a negative effect on your capital, that has to be deemed inherently risky. Whiskey simply just doesn't have those same pitfalls, for the very simple reason that it's predicated on such simple economic factors, which is good old-fashioned supply and demand. If you have an insatiable demand for something, but you have an incredibly limited supply, basic economic factors dictate that prices will rise significantly. And that's testament to the fact that we've been seeing that now for the past 40 years. Whiskey is the best performing asset class in the last decade. But what people perhaps don't know about Tomoka is that we're the only company that are based in the financial district that have been around for close to 15 years. We have a complete open door policy and a gorgeous shop in the Royal Exchange with about £3 million worth of whiskey just sitting here, which is owned by our clients. When our customers invest or buy whiskey from us, they have absolute reassurance. We have a policy where we will only charge our customers on the back end once we've shown them a profit, and that proof is fundamentally in the pudding. And for me, that's a better way of doing business. When you invest with a company, the onus should be squarely with that company. And what I mean by that is that there'll be a lot of companies out there that maybe will take a percentage of your initial investment. Now, for me, that doesn't really work. The very simple reason is because, well, where does the incentive lie if the company that you're working with actually make a profit on you walking through the door? We believe that things should be done in a sense where we're prospering with you, not from you. So that means that we'll take care of your insurance, we'll take care of your bonded warehouse facilities. You are insured up to the market value. So you invest with us, 5 years down the road, you've made good profit. For whatever reason, something happens to your whiskey, or you know that you've got assurance that you're insured at the profit level, not at your initial investment level. It's one of the things that we offer that not many companies do, if any. Right now is a great time to invest into whiskey for a multitude of reasons, the biggest one of which is the level of turbulence and the precarious nature that we're seeing all around us. Banks at best can offer you 1 or 2% here or there, but the question that I'm sure you've asked yourself as an investor is, if the banking sector's in such intense debt and it's in such a fragile position, how could you ever look to receive anything more than the very meager return that you're probably used to? Whereas in the whiskey market, we are seeing such a seismic shift in terms of philosophy and how people approach it. Even if you look at maybe one of the more esoteric areas like the bourbon market, it's valued at 7.8 billion in 2021. Now, as we approach 2024, that's going up close to 10 billion. It's estimated to go up to 12.8 billion by 2027. So we're seeing incredible drives in the market, and that is incentivizing people to start thinking differently, start thinking outside the box. So I very much see over the next 5-10 years, you're going to see a tsunami of smart money moving into this market. And what I think is one of the worst kept secrets in the industry, it's a market where you're seeing safety and security year on year. So right now is a fantastic time to start thinking about developing a whiskey portfolio. Consider this, you walk into your local supermarket and you see an array of whiskies, you see Jack Daniels, you see Jameson. And what you immediately assume usually is that they've come from a Jack Daniels or a Jameson's distillery. It's not necessarily the case. What happens there is that these big brands will buy liquid from a distillery. Now, that new make liquid goes into the cask. It has to mature for at least 3 to 4 years for it to be legally termed as whiskey. But there's a period there where not much is happening. And the wonderful thing about this market is that that's where clients get involved, because during that period when it's maturing, just before the bottling companies want to buy that liquid and the distilleries are selling those casks, you come in as an investor. So actually what you're doing is you're taking advantage of a sweet spot. I don't think that's common knowledge, but that's why this investment is so wonderful, because everybody profits. And provided everybody works in the same way, everybody's motivated to be honest and upfront with each other, you're gonna have a great experience within the marketplace. Some of the biggest risks within the whiskey market are probably quite similar to the risks that you would find in different markets. Look, as investors, you're investing your hard-earned money that you've probably worked a long time to attain. What's more important than making money has to be looking after the money that I'm sure you've worked incredibly hard for. So we all have that nagging fear at the back of our mind that says, am I going to send my money into a big black hole where I'm never going to retrieve it again? Is it going off to Timbuktu or the Banana Republic? So I can't stress or emphasize just how important it is to really meet the people that you're working with. Go and sit down with them, have a glass of whiskey, get to know them. Don't ever rush into an investment without truly knowing in your heart of hearts that you know the people that you're working with. That's why at this company, I'm so proud to be part of it, because most of the whiskies that we're actually getting our clients into, we have complete exclusivity to. So it means that our clients will get to meet the distillers, they obviously get to meet the experts at the company, but essentially they know us. Okay, we're not calling people, cold calling, all that sort of stuff that I understand probably does happen from time to time. We really emphasize how important it is to know the people we work with. We usually get around 200 or 300 inquiries on a weekly basis, because we have this reputation for being transparent, being honest, being professional. And I think provided you have those kind of mindsets when you're going into an investment, you invariably won't go wrong. In Scotland, for every person that lives there, there are 4 casks maturing, okay, which is an incredible number. There's 20 million casks right now maturing in Scotland. If you look at the Irish market, it's seeing 150% growth in the last 10 years or so. So you're seeing this exponential infrastructure just booming in such a major way that Over the next 10 years, as we see the markets becoming more fragile, more smart money will move into this market. New distilleries are popping up. If you look at the bourbon market right now, there's 2,600 distilleries. Go back 20 years, that was under 40. So it's around 735% growth in a very short period of time. If you look practically and logically at what's happening right now, I only see this market going from strength to strength. The future for Tomoka Fine & Rare is incredibly bright. We're a company of firsts. It's one of the reasons why I'm here. I'm proud to be, just one of the cogs in this machine. We're the first company to have an open door policy where our clients' whiskies are actually attached to the shop that we have in the Royal Exchange. We're the first whiskey company to actually ensure that we only take a profit by actually making our clients a profit. So it comes back to working with you, not against you. We're expanding in a major way. We're looking at the American market. We're looking at the European market. So our objective is to be able to offer our services on a wider scale. People want to buy whiskey. People want to invest into this market. And it's about showing people why we're the company to do it with. I would say my favorite is probably the Redbreast 12. It's a single pot still. It's quite cinnamony. There's honey notes in there. You get a little bit of dark fruit, maybe even a bit of caramel. The problem is with a lot of whiskies, very moorish. And so big responsibility, of course.